In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make a super simple travel itinerary planner in Excel with drop-down categories, automatic cost splitting, link to maps, and a layout that still makes sense even when your friend changes plan every 12 minutes. So, let's jump in. Alright, I'm starting with a brand new blank Excel file. The first thing I do is create the headers across the top. These are basically the categories you want for each plan. So in the first row, starting from cell A1, I'm going to type date, time, activity, duration, price, number of people, cost per person, location, map, and notes. This covers basically everything. When it happens, what it is, how long it takes, what it costs, who's going, and where it is. Now I'll resize the columns a bit so the text isn't squished. In Excel, you can just drag the borders between the column letters or double-click to auto-fit. Once the headers are typed, I immediately make them easier to read. I highlight that top row and I make the text bold. I center it. I bump up the font size a little, like 18, just so it doesn't look like tiny spreadsheet whisper text, and give it a background color so it's clearly the header zone. Let's choose this dark blue with white font. Good job. The next step is to add a second header. Let's click on cell A2 and type Sunday, trip day 1. So, this is basically a section title. It's not an activity, and it's not part of the itinerary table rows. It's just there to make the sheet easier to read. Think of it like a headline in a notebook. When you're scrolling through a bunch of plans, it helps your eyes instantly know, okay, everything under here belongs to Sunday. After that, you highlight across the row from the first column to the last column, basically across the whole width of your itinerary, and you click Merge and Center on the Home tab. That turns all those cells into one big cell, so your label sits nicely in the middle like a banner. Then you just format it so it stands out. Make it bold, increase the font size a bit, center it, and give it a background color like a light blue. Now here's a small thing that makes a huge difference. I freeze the top row. Because once you add a bunch of activities and start scrolling, you don't want your headers disappearing. That's how mistakes happen. And suddenly your price column becomes your notes column, and nobody knows why the skydiving ticket costs arrive early. So, in Excel, you go to the View tab, click Freeze Panes, and choose Freeze Top Row. Now when you scroll, your header stays there. That's one of those features that feels boring until you use it, and then you can't live without it. Next, I format a few columns so Excel understands what I'm trying to do. For the date column, I set it to a short date format. For the time column, I set it to a time format. For the price column, I set it to currency because we're talking money. And for cost per person, I set that to currency too. For number of people, I set it to a normal number with 0 decimals. This matters because it keeps your sheet clean and consistent. Now let's talk about the best part, the cost split. Because if you're traveling with friends or family, the question, how much do I owe, comes up constantly. So instead of calculating it every time, we make Excel do it automatically. In the cost per person cell, I make a simple formula. It takes the price and divides it by the number of people. Click on cell G3. Let's first type the formula, and I will explain it later in details. The last part, E3 divided by F3, is the main calculation. It divided the total price by the number of people. So it gives you cost of people. Now, why does it has the if inner functions? Excel doesn't like dividing by nothing. If the number of people is blank or 0, you get an ugly error like this one. So this part checks 3 things. Is F3 blank? Is F3 0? Is E3 blank? If any one of those is true, then it's not ready to calculate, which means show a blank cell. If everything is filled in properly, it returns the per person cost. So once you enter a total price and enter how many people are going, the cost per person shows up instantly. Let's drag the formula down. Now, the next formula that we are going to use is for maps. This is going to generate an open map link automatically. Because typing addresses is one thing, but being able to click a link and instantly open Google Maps is the difference between organized traveler and lost in a new city arguing with your friends. So here's how we do it. Let's say your location is typed in cell H3. This could be an address, a hotel name, a restaurant, anything that Google Maps can search. Then, in the map column on the same row, you're going to paste this formula. When you press enter, Excel will show a clickable link that literally says Open Map. And when you click it, it opens Google Maps and searches for whatever you typed in that location cell. For example, as a location, I will type Hotel Hilton Bali. Let's increase the width of the column a bit and click the Open Map link. Now, how cool is that? Excel opened a Google map of the hotel. Here's what's happening in normal human language. The first part, hyperlink, is Excel's way of saying, turn this into a clickable link. The long Google link is basically telling Maps, search for this thing. And the encode URL H3 part is just Excel being polite. It takes your location text, especially if it has spaces, and converts it into a format that works inside a web link. Finally, Open Map is just the friendly text you want Excel to display instead of showing that ugly long website link. A warning here. Some older Excel versions don't have encode URL. A simple backup that still works for most locations is replacing spaces with %20. Here is the formula that you can use. Now we can start adding real trip plans. I'll enter an example. Suppose you traveled to Bali. Let's say the date is Sunday, 15th of February, and the time is 3 p.m. The activity might be check into hotel. The duration could be 1 hour, or you can leave it blank if you don't care. The price is $200. The location could be the hotel's name and address. Hotel Hilton Bali. For notes, you can type anything that helps your future self. Stuff like check-in starts at 2 p.m., for example. If your notes are long, you'll notice a classic Excel problem. The text either spills across the sheet or gets cut off. So, I turn on wrap text for the notes column. That keeps everything readable inside the cell. You can find wrap text in the Home tab. Optional, you can wrap text for these columns as well. Now let's say later that same day you're doing another activity. You add a new row for it. Date, time, activity, duration, and so on. And your cost per person will just calculate automatically as long as you fill in price and number of people. Once you've done it once, you don't need to keep retyping it. You can copy it down to the rest of the rows. Just grab the little square in the bottom right corner of the cell, that tiny fill handle, and drag it downward. So every activity can have its own one-click map link, which is honestly amazing when you're traveling and your brain is running on iced coffee and 3 hours of sleep. Now, the final feature that makes this itinerary feel fancy, but it's still beginner-friendly, is a drop-down for activity type. Because instead of just writing check-in and skydiving and dinner, you can label each activity with a simple category, like lodging, entertainment, food, drinks, transportation. This is really helpful when you're scanning the itinerary, and it's also helpful if you want to filter later, like show me only transportation plans or show me only food plans, which is very important for people who travel exclusively to eat. So I insert a new column next to activity and call it type. Then I highlight the cells in that column where I'll be choosing categories. Now, I'm going to the Data tab. Click Data Validation and choose List. Then type your options separated by commas, like lodging, entertainment, food, drinks, transportation. After that, every row gets a drop-down menu. You click the cell and pick lodging or food or transportation. No retyping, no spelling differences, no entertainment category that only exists because you typed too fast. And if you want to make it extra clear, you can color code those types with conditional formatting. That means Excel will automatically change the cell color based on the word inside it. Let's do an example. Highlight all the cells. Go to Home, Conditional Formatting. From Highlight Cells Rules, choose text that contains type food and select this color. Now, every time you type food, the cell will take this color code. All right, let's type another activity. Great. Now, a lot of people like to separate the itinerary by day so it's easier to read. In Excel, a simple way to do that is to insert a blank row between days and create a day header. The easiest way is to copy this header and paste it here. You can type something like Monday Trip Day 2. Finally, you can remove the Excel grid lines and put your own borders as you like. Good job. And that's it. You now have a clean, shareable Excel travel itinerary that keeps everything in one place. Dates, times, activities, costs, people, locations, and links. You can keep adding rows for each day, duplicate your day headers, and reuse this template for every trip you ever do. Which is great, because Excel doesn't judge you for being the planner friend. It just enables it. Thanks for watching, and I genuinely hope your next trip is safe, fun, and at least 40% less chaotic. If this helped, hit like, subscribe for more beginner-friendly Excel tutorials, and drop a comment telling me where you're traveling next. See you at the next one.